has been pretty solid other than that fight we've been talking about. He said that Ortiz is plain and simply knocking him out of the park, and he says he's got to come out like a good pitcher with a good strategy. So far, how's his pitching? How's his delivery?
It's okay. You know,
how's that fastball?
There are no fastballs from Hector Alatorre. He's not that fast, and he's not hitting that hard.
The changer then is his money ball.
Exactly. You know, he's kind of alternating stalking, alternating moving around, and I think he's being helped out by Ortiz. I think Ortiz wants to go rounds. I think, you know, we have to realize that Ortiz wants to fight the top fighters in the junior welterweight division, and that's a deep, talented division. And when he gets in there with guys like Nate Campbell or Amir Khan or Marcos Maidana again, he might have to go the 12-round distance. He needs to have rounds under his belt to feel confidence in a championship fight. And this guy, Hector Ortiz, has only fought into the 12th round once in his career. That was against Emmanuel Clady back in 2007. So maybe he wants to go some rounds tonight.
But I'll tell you one thing, he's a bad hombre. He not only is a fighter, he's an MMA fighter. He's been in the...
He's got some ground skills. He practices in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's a very good runner, a very good distance runner. He was a standout sprinter in high school. He's a surfer. What he is a natural athlete, Mario, and that's part of what makes him special. It's part of what separates him from other young up-and-comers in the 140-pound division. It's what sort of makes him an interesting matchup against fellow talents like Timothy Bradley or Amir Khan. Those are matchups that his promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, would like to see him in by the end of this year or definitely in 2011.
Well, Ortiz at some point showing the viciousness that many people know. Back at Club Nokia, this is round 4 between Hector Ortiz and Hector Alatorre. And so far in this club, Ortiz is fighting to his own rhythm, to his own beat. He says on his MySpace page that he really likes all kinds of music, including symphony. So he came out with the Mexican song, mariachi music.
You know what?
He's a special guy.
He does. He travels to the beat of his own drum.
Charismatic. He's very engaging, very likable, smiling all the time. But today, before the fight started, there was no smile on his face.
Oh no. He gets into a mindset. He gets that sort of primal rage going, you know, in the days before a fight, and when he steps into the ring, he's all business. Now, as soon as the fight's over, especially when he wins, and even, you know, when he lost against Maidana, he's all smiles again. You know, he kind of turns into that aw shucks country boy from Kansas City.
People were critical of
Kansas.
That he wasn't serious enough about that loss, but that's just his personality.
I think so. I think that's sort of part of his appeal. He's got sort of a boyish charm to him. But he's very serious about his career. He's very serious about the work he puts into the gym. He's a dedicated young man. Nobody has to wake him up and make him do his road work or make him spar that extra round or go that extra round on the heavy bag or do his sit-ups. He's very disciplined, very serious, and very ambitious, too. He thinks he can be a star. He thinks he can be a world champion.
Before that happens, I guess he'll have to be tested again, and that's what a lot of fans are waiting for. The moment when there's adversity again in the ring, how will he respond? He's got skill, but does he have the will? That's the question.
Right.
Push it down, okay? There you go.
And you know what? We're not going to know until he's put in that position again, and there's no telling who's going to do it.
Yeah, that's not going to happen tonight.
No, I don't think it's going to be Hector Alatorre. But what Hector Alatorre is going to do is alternately stalk and circle away from Hector, which is giving him an opportunity to work on his defense and his offense, and sort of blending those two things together, and he's giving him rounds. I think what Ortiz wants before he steps into the ring again, and he does have a fight scheduled on May 15 in the WAMU Theater in Madison Square Garden in New York City, tentatively scheduled to fight former lightweight champ Nate Campbell, who's very dangerous. And then Campbell's in a do-or-die position, so you know he's going to bring it. So what Alatorre is going to do is make sure that Victor is very sharp when he steps back onto the world stage.
If we get to stay between rounds, pay attention to the way Alatorre's trainer slides into the ring.
Oh yeah, he's fast.
He almost reminds me of like Rey Mysterio sliding under the bottom rope. You know, most other guys will just kind of crawl in between the ropes. He'll slide in there. He's in there within a second.
It's like the pit crew of a NASCAR team.
There you go.
He's fast. He's ready. I like that.
A combination of NASCAR and WWE.
Yes,
I love it.
I like it.
Chanting, Victor, Victor.
We're seeing Victor start to impose himself a little bit more physically on Alatorre. You see him shoving off with his right shoulder, muscling him a little bit inside. And then here we see Alatorre muscling a little bit back, getting a warning from referee David Mendoza. I guess their heads clash a little bit.
Still good movement by Victor Ortiz. They're kind of planting a little bit better now, waiting for the right moment to attack.
Yeah, he will plant his feet when he's ready to let those hands go. But when he's moving, you'll notice very smooth, very fluid, kind of glides around the ring. While that upper body is like a statue. He's right there with his hands in position, and he does not punch unless he thinks that punch is going to land. Very economical.
Nicely moving in both directions, not getting stuck into a certain rhythm. Sometimes fighters will have that tendency to continue circling in a certain direction. He's moving back and forth, always keeping Alatorre on his toes.
Seeing a little upper body movement from Ortiz from mid-range.
Yeah, it's a crouching tiger.
Yeah. And when he lets those hands go, another thing is he's fast. He's not just accurate, he is fast.
That was just a little slip there again. There was feet got tangled up. I like the way he slips out of certain situations. Just very gently kind of moves out of the way like a dancer.
He spins out. He spins out
for Dancing with the Stars.
and glides out of range. Yeah, he's a surfer. He likes to do the MMA thing. He's a good runner. Maybe he's a good dancer as well. And you know what? There's going to come a time when he's in there with a physical threat, a guy who can punch, and he's going to need to stick and move.
Right.
All right, we're back. We've reached the halfway mark of this fight, if it goes the distance. Victor Ortiz, vicious Ortiz, with the black trunks, facing Hector Alatorre.
You're seeing Ortiz is getting more and more into his rhythm, more warmed up. You're seeing a good southpaw jab from him, but a lot of head and upper body movement in between those jabs. He's feeling good and he's feeling warmed up. And I think he wanted to at least get through the halfway point in this fight. I think rounds are very important to him. The 5 fights...
Was that from a mental or a physical standpoint?
I think it's just mental. I mean, he trains like a demon, so, I mean, I think physically speaking, he can fight 10 or 12 rounds, but the fact of the matter is most of his fights don't go that long. The 5 bouts leading into his fight with Marcos Maidana, none of them went past 5 rounds. And I think in his mind, psychologically speaking, it's important for him to have some distance bouts.
Well, there is Victor Ortiz going for the knockout or the home run in this case.
And he was letting his hands go a little bit. Some nice hooks and crosses from Ortiz. Alatorre's a tough guy. He takes those shots. Takes them and nods to Victor to let him know that he can take them.
got everyone's attention.
A lot of sweat flew on that one.
And there's Vicious Ortiz. Trying to make his move.
And you see Alatorre is a frustrating opponent when Ortiz lets his hands go and presses him against the ropes. Alatorre grabs and holds to stem that tide. Slow down Ortiz's momentum.
777. I wonder if that's his area code. That's tattooed on his back. Comes from Central California.